MDY, and happy Sunday to everyone. We are doing online Bible class today outside. We're going to just take a little walk. We are in Matthew chapter 21 today, and I think there's also a parallel passage in Mark chapter 11. But we are looking at the story. It's not a parable this week, but we're looking at a story this week that's going to set us up for a parable story next Sunday. So just hang with us and take what you can from this week. But we are looking at the story of the fig tree that Jesus came upon when he and his disciples were walking on the road from Bethany into Jerusalem, which was just a couple of miles of walking, but he was hungry along the way. Now, the reason we're walking today is just to get a feel for what was going on in that story, and to understand too that experts say that Jesus probably walked somewhere around 3,100 miles during his ministry, and likely over 21,000 miles in his lifetime. Because they didn't have cars back then. So if they walked from their home into Jerusalem or from one city to another, that's the way they got around, was walking. They didn't have cars. As far as we know, Jesus didn't own horses, and we know that he rode into Jerusalem that one time last week, actually, on the donkey. But we don't have a lot of stories of him doing that frequently. So there's just a lot of walking going on, and so as we consider the story this week, it's just very much a part of his life that he walked. And today we're actually we're standing next to a tree. A lot of fig trees, they say, can get anywhere up to 20 feet tall, but a lot of them, I know, especially used for fruit, they keep those trimmed back so the fruit is easily accessible. But this one, it says Jesus came across this tree just walking along the road, and he was hungry, and so he looked and saw it, and there were leaves on it. The tree looked good, but then when he got to it, there was no fruit on it. And one of the really peculiar things is, between the two passages, we find that it says that it wasn't the season for fruit. So why was he surprised that there was no fruit on it? Well, in understanding fig trees, which I'm sure no one's ever asked this question, you didn't care, but I'm going to tell you this morning. So for certain varieties of fig trees, they produce two different seasons of fruit each year. There's the main main fruit that they will produce, and then there is a kind of like a pre-fruit, which is a small almond-like thing, and it doesn't taste as good as the main fruit. It's kind of hard, but yet, if you're hungry and you're looking for something, it would give you something. And so Jesus was hungry. He was looking for something to eat, and he went to this tree full of leaves. It looked good, but yet there was nothing on it for him to eat. And so what he did was, the passages tell us that he cursed the tree, and it withered and just died. It withered before the eyes of his disciples. Pretty incredible story. So what would cause him to react in such a seeming harsh way with this tree? Well, I think the reason is because there's very much a lesson for us to learn there, and that for Jesus, this tree had no purpose. It was not producing any fruit. It was not doing what it was put on this earth for. It was not serving its part in creation. So understand, what is my role? What is my purpose here on this earth? It is to bring glory to the Father. And if the fruit of my life is not bringing glory to God, then I'm not serving the purpose that I was created for. And so for any tree or for any plant, if it's not producing a crop, if it's not producing a fruit, it's not doing what it was created for. And what this tells us is that, if we look good on the outside, if we've got all the leaves and we're putting on a show and things maybe um, maybe look good externally, but then there's nothing inside. There's no fruit to account for what my life is representing. Um, then I'm not serving the purpose I was created for. You know, we see in Galatians chapter 5, it says that the fruit of the Spirit in our life. So when God's Spirit is a part of us, there should be fruit. So if we're claiming that identity, if we're claiming to be followers of Jesus, we take the name Christian, if we're showing up to church, a part of God's family here on earth, and yet there's no evidence of that fruit in our life, the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. If that's not there, then we're just kind of like that fig tree. We're just all dressed up in leaves and bearing no fruit. And so that's what I want us to consider this week is, what identity are you claiming? Are you claiming to be a believer, follower of Jesus? To be a follower of his means that we're doing just a little more than claiming the title. And if that's the case, if we're allowing the Spirit to be a part of our life, then that means some changes are gonna be evident. And so, as we go into next week's study, we actually will look at the parable of the fig tree, not just this story that we see as Jesus is walking along the road. We need to kind of dwell on this and meditate on this and think about this idea this week. Is my life bearing fruit? Or am I just like a leafy tree? I just look good, but there's nothing there to back it up. So it's kind of a harsh story, and it's kind of a hard question to ask ourselves, but we can't ignore it. I just want to encourage you to be a part of what we've going on right now, what we've got going on right now. Things are a little different. We can't get together. We can't play kill ball. Can't take our trips right now. But what we do have right now is very encouraging to one another, and I want to encourage you to be a part of it. This afternoon at 5 o'clock, we have our Sunday check-in, and we meet on Zoom, and just to have some FaceTime with each other and just let each other know how we're doing. And I know it may be a little awkward for you, it may be a little difficult doing that kind of stuff, but let me just say, it is very encouraging to someone if you can be there. And I want to remind you, on Tuesday, we have Tuesday Bible study. This week, that's going to be at 3:30 in the afternoon on Zoom. We have Wednesday night youth group. That'll be on YouTube, I think, this week. Thursday, we have express lunch, where just meet at 12 noon on Thursday. Bring your lunch. We just kind of talk about whatever. Last week, man, it was fun. And then also we have the Picture of Your Life contest each week that we present on Thursday. I want to encourage you to be a part of that. I know maybe getting a free lunch delivered to your door isn't huge motivation, but the purpose behind Picture of Your Life is just to be able to share what's going on in our life during this pandemic lockdown. And so I highly encourage you. Congratulations this week to Sutton and Emberly Wills for both winning the contest this week. The pictures they submitted were just awesome. Take a look at those right here. And so good job, guys. They'll get some free lunch delivered this week. Hopefully this thing will end soon. Hopefully we can start getting back to normal. Hopefully some of our summer stuff can be salvaged. Our mission trip to Nashville, summer camp, some trips at the end of summer. Anyway, God's going to bless us. He's blessing us now by showing us a new way of life, a different way of life. Things aren't going to be the same for a while, but it's okay because God is teaching us, and we trust that He's going to going to do things well in our lives and work all things together for good. I pray that you have a good day. I pray that this week is great for you. And thanks for joining us.